The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a second Super Bowl title in franchise history.
And Tom Brady doesn't pass the torch yet to Mahomes, does he?
Dave Roberts. And strike three. Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
And that's it. It's over. This historic 2020 NBA championship belongs to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers conquer the bubble, and banner number 17 will soon hang in the rafters.
Welcome to Sports Next here on Ecstatic Radio. I am Henry.
I'm Mr. Hodge.
And I'm Uncle Phil.
First of all, how are you guys doing, by the way? I mean, we're already getting things heated up here in Southern California.
Yep.
How are you guys doing?
Can't complain. I feel like I'm starting to see the end of the light of the tunnel with the coronavirus. So I hope we keep it up. I hope everybody continues to be smart. Don't make any sudden moves, and just be happy because it's been a rough couple of years, couple of months for us. So overall, feeling good.
All right. Phil, you feeling good?
Yeah, it's just too hot. It's too hot out here.
It is.
Yeah.
It's hot right now. It's getting hot. It's getting hot out here. So we should not. No, we should take our clothes off.
No, we don't have to take all our clothes off, just like the t-shirt and the shoes, and that's
we'll wait.
enough.
We'll wait after we stop recording. In our own individual places. Anyway.
Yeah, try to get my hot guy summer on.
There's summer bodies going on. All right. Anyway, let's start off with the birthdays. Oh, by the way, Hodge, I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
it's probably the best shirt you've ever worn.
Yeah, I agree. I guess got made by this incredible guy, real good friend of mine. He's very chill. Why don't you tell the people what shirt I'm wearing?
Ecstatic Radio, Compton, California, on the bottom.
Yep.
So, and you know the hat goes with is a good touch to it.
Oh yeah,
Dodger hat.
Got the black Dodger hat. So
yeah,
color coordinated.
Yeah, you gotta. All right, but let's get to some birthdays here in the first week of May.
Yep.
Hodge, take it away.
All right, we are recording on May 4th, 2021. May the 4th be with you. A happy early Cinco de Mayo. Is there any days I'm missing besides Memorial Day? Because we're in the first week.
Mother's Day is coming up.
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding. Oh, my goodness. I want to send a happy early Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Keep grinding, no matter if your child is a baby, child, grown, whatever. Keep on doing your thing. We love our mamas.
Yep.
They are
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
I always love my mama. All right. All right. So let's see who celebrated birthdays this week. On May 2nd, we have Paul George, PG-13. Let's see if he could actually do something in the playoffs this time around. It's around the corner. But happy birthday to Paul George.
Come on, man. No, don't be like that.
I gotta
He's having a hard year.
I gotta be real. Like this last performance was like, come on, bro.
I know, right? First luck, he would not do anything good. I'm just calling it now. He won't do crap.
Ouch.
Yeah. Okay.
But all right. So anyway,
they'll be like the Lakers this year.
Oh, King. Well, if they're going to be like the Lakers, who are the Lakers going to be?
Oh, they're probably going to be the old Clippers.
They switch places. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is birthdays. We're celebrating people's birthdays. It's supposed to be.
Where's that trash talk hour?
Yeah, there's plenty of time for that. Anyway, so also joining Paul George is Gerard Salamanca.
Jared Salamanca.
All right, Salamanca. Okay, close enough. Pat McAfee, the former NFL punter, now podcaster slash broadcaster slash WWE commentator is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. That's his list.
That is hilarious. And joining him is Tremaine Edmonds. May 3rd, we have Tyronn Lue, Domantas Sabonis, Homer Bailey, Ben Revere, Austin Meadows, Davey Lopez, Jerick McKinnon, and Dwayne Haskins. I actually debated putting Dwayne Haskins' name on here.
Ouch, man.
I mean, he's career.
Is he still there?
He's with the
Oh
Steelers
yeah.
now.
Oh yeah. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
he's going to play backup.
Okay.
Man, I was rooting for him too.
At least he's backing up Big Ben.
Yeah. On May 4th, today we have Victor Oladipo, Kevin Porter Jr., George Hill, Eddie Perez, and James Harrison.
Okay.
On May 5th, it is PJ Tucker, James Conner, Ike Taylor, Moshin Mohammed, Mike Daniels, and John Boston.
The Washington linebacker.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. May 6th, it is CP3, Chris Paul.
Chris Paul. All right.
Yeah, a bit big ups to him. Keep on doing this thing.
The first place Phoenix Suns, I believe.
Yes. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Joining him is Jonas Valanciunas, Gorgon Dragic, Ryan Anderson, Jose Altuve.
Altuve, boo! He's part of that Astros team.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you could butcher his name.
Okay. Willie Mays, Garrod.
Legendary.
Garrod Para, Jason Witten, the NFL tight end, should be in the Hall of Fame, I believe. Akbar Bajabi Miller, John Abraham. Thank you.
Yeah, that was good.
I heard it enough times when I was watching them. John Abraham, Cameron Hayward, Dustin Colquitt, Adam Carricker. On the 7th, it is Sean Marion, Tyler Johnson, James Looney, Dick Williams.
Former Dodger.
Yep. Dick Williams, newly retired Alex Smith, the talented but troubled safety Earl Thomas, and NFL icon Johnny Unitas. And on the 8th, we have Kevin Walker, Adrian Gonzalez, Willie Peralta, Ronnie Lott, the craziest safety that ever played in the NFL. I hope he's enjoying his four fingers. Lane Johnson, Mike D'Antoni, Bill Cowher, Lovie Smith, Lovie Smith. I won't say he's a legend, but he's a memorable. But yeah, Bill Cowher's a legend, and we would like to give an honorary birthday to John Annabinelli. He was one of the 9 people who died of last year in the June 26th helicopter crash alongside with Kobe Bryant.
So our thoughts with the family still, and happy birthday to all these athletes. And some of them having their Cinco de Mayo birthdays, and some of them having their birthdays with their mamas. And so enjoy this week.
Yeah, some of them wearing their Star Wars costumes on May 4th.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Victor Oladipo, I don't know if he was wearing that. George Hill, maybe. James Harrison.
Who knows?
Yeah. All right. With that being said, we're gonna do some UFC when we get back here, and it wasn't that eventful, but there was still a fight night, so we'll talk more about it when we get back. Welcome back to Sports Nicks. Now we had a fight night over this last weekend on May 1st with Reyes and Prochaska. Main event headlining. But before we get to the main event, let's just go through some prelim fights. Not much around the prelims except for TJ Brown versus Kai Kamaka. That was a really good fight. It was at that time potential to be a fight of the night. I don't know if you got to see that, Hodge, or any of you guys.
Which one?
TJ Brown and Kai Kamaka.
I didn't watch the prelims. I just watched the main card.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, it was a good fight. It was a split decision victory for TJ Brown, but it was a good win. And then there was right after that, the feature prelim fight was Luana Pinheiro against Ronda Marcos that ended in a DQ illegal up kick. And a lot of people are saying, well, for this Ronda Marcos, I believe she needs to win bad. But she looked pretty good this time around. She was fighting Luana, who's making her debut, UFC debut. And there's a lot of talk about the way that this one was. A lot of people are trying to say it's the same thing as what happened with Aljamain Sterling, and maybe there was a fake injury there that happened. But I don't see it in this one. I was watching this, and I see Luana. I saw her at Dana White's Contender Series. She looked really good where she earned her contract there, and this was her debut, UFC debut. And it did look like, illegal upkick was that supposedly got her out of there. And I mean, there was no. I mean, she was winning the fight too in that first round. At least the first round she was winning it. So I don't see how that would be. Her faking it. That did look pretty bad. But either way, it's a victory for Luana Pinheiro. Not the way that she wanted that win, but she got it anyway. But to the main card, we started out with Mirav Shivili defeated Cody Stamen in a decision, 3 rounds. Then you had an impressive victory by Sean Strickland, defeated Christoph Jutko in a decision, 5 rounds, unanimous decision. And then you had Ayon Kuteleba versus Justin Jacoby, ended in a draw, split draw. So no win there. And then it was then I was actually going back and forth with Hodge in this one. I was like, man, there are no KOs this whole night.
Yeah.
Sure enough, we got to the co-main event, the featherweights between Giga Chikadze and the Cub Swanson. And there it is. Giga Chikadze finally put his name on the board on the contenders list, I think, with this one. An impressive win over a veteran, Cub Swanson. If you know, Cub Swanson has got himself some pretty big victories. And he TKO'd a body kick and punches in 1 minute and 3 seconds in the first round.
Yeah, that took the out of me. When I saw
I
was like,
that's crazy. That's nasty.
No, I remember I sent you that text. I was like, I was just being like hopeful. I was like wishful thinking, like, hey, we still have the rest of the night.
Yeah. And sure enough, right away they shut me up right there. And speaking of KOs, nasty KOs, the main event, another actual big contender now in the light heavyweight division for sure. Jiri Prochazka defeated Dominic Reyes, the former number 1 contender, in KO with a spinning back elbow in the second round. He had 3 seconds left to go, but Prochazka just went with that crazy hair. He said, "Yeah, I'm just gonna elbow this guy."
Yeah,
knocking him out, and it was a nasty KO.
Yeah,
and Dominic Reyes, I mean, he's coming off, 2 title fights that he had just lost. I mean, last one against Blachowicz, and then the one before that was John Jones. And for Prochazka, I mean, he even before this KO, he just looked really well, like for sure this whole fight.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this fight?
Wait, shall I let the expert go first? Yeah, I'm gonna let the expert go first.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't think Reyes was gonna lose. As a fake betting man, I would have put my money on Reyes because I felt like he has been to the dance more. But I just thought that was a nasty in a good way elbow. And it was just like, damn, that was really surprising to see.
Yeah.
Especially since they are in the higher weight classes. I didn't expect him to do such a smooth elbow. So it's just like, good for him. Good win for him. I give him all the props. And I guess for the casual fans, we now know that maybe he does deserve to be in the mid-event status / top 10 light heavyweights in the UFC right now.
Right. Hodge?
Yeah, that when I saw this first round, I was looking at, I was like, yeah, this match is not going the distance. It had the makings of Reyes getting knocked out at some point. Reyes has some nice strikes as well, and they were clearly connected, but the writing was on the wall. I did not see that knockout coming. Like I thought Reyes was gonna come back and block with his strike and come at him with a closed fist, and he did that smooth criminal type elbow to the temple. That got me out of my seat. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
So that one definitely shook me.
And I hear Jan Blachowicz already calls out the champion already called out Prochazka, like, hey man, you and me, let's do it, let's fight. They want to fight us somewhere in Europe. But I believe Blachowicz has already probably his title defense against Teixeira, I believe, that he has to still do. I'm not sure if that's an actual official card already. But I mean, you find some contenders already there for the light heavyweight right after John Jones, who we will talk about a little bit later, because his mouth has been running, or at least his Twitter fingers have been going on. But I mean, yeah, like you said, it was a decent card. You know, it's like if you're a fan of like long fights, then you'll like this card because there were a bunch of long fights, decisions, and all that. Not many big names other than Dominic Reyes, Cub Swanson, Giga Chikadze, Sean Strickland, Joko. Other than that, but that was about it. Nothing too crazy just yet. But with that being said, for this week or this upcoming Saturday, we're supposed to have a big fight. Dillashaw and Sandhagen, and that fight got scrapped. I believe there was an injury to Dillashaw, I believe, that had to scratch the fight, and so we had to come up, or the UFC had to come up with a new main event for this one if they want to keep the show going. And they came up with some women's flyweights with Michelle Watterson and Marina Rodriguez. They will be headlining this upcoming Saturday with co-headlines Donald Cerrone, Cowboy Cerrone against Alex Morono. They also got Neil Magny against Jeff Neal. They got Maurice Green against Marcos Rogerio de Lima. And to begin that card will be Amanda Ribas and Angela Hill, which is going to be a good fight. Ben Rothwell is back. He's going to be fighting Philippe Lins. What do you guys think about this card?
I just think it sucks that injuries and whatnot have to plague the Worst Main event because I was looking forward to it. But it's always good to see Donald Cerrone show up, even though he is in his back few years of his career. It's always good to see. So hopefully he does perform like he usually does. And Neil Magny always puts up a good fight. So I'm also excited for his fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he Cowboy, you talking about Cowboy, he has 4 straight losses. The last fight was against Nico Price, which he got a no contest. I think the ruling was overturned. It was officially Price was deducted round 1 of repeated eye pokes. Originally a majority draw. Originally it was a draw and then overturned after Price tested positive for marijuana. But more about this headline again. Marina Rodriguez and Michelle Watterson, both. I believe Watterson is a strawweight contender. She has her last win was against Angela Hill. She has lost against Carla Esparza, Joanna, and but Marina Rodriguez. She also has up. Her last win was against Amanda Ribas, and she's been some Tisha Torres and Jessica Aguilar. But it should be interesting fight card. For a free fight card, and you can't ask for more. As long as there's another stacked fight to announce. So it's good that the UFC keeps it going.
Yep.
But there was also a former lightweight championship challenger and Ultimate Fighter middleweight winner Diego Sanchez was expected to face lightweight challenger Donald Cerrone in the welterweight bout. However, Sanchez was removed from the fight on April 28th after being cut by the UFC, which we should. You know what? Let's just talk about it now. We were supposed to talk about this later, but because we already brought up Diego Sanchez, because he was supposed to be part of this card. Diego Sanchez. Let me look about. Let me read again the reason why the UFC has been concerned for some time about the behavior of Sanchez's coach, Joshua Fabia. Sanchez's release, however, was facilitated because even though Sanchez passed his medicals for a planned May 8th fight versus Donald Cerrone, neither Fabia nor attorney Charles N. Lakins could confirm that the UFC that Sanchez was not suffering from either short-term or long-term medical issues. Fabia asked the UFC medical coordinator for all Sanchez medical records going back to Ultimate Fighter in 2004. Several UFC employees told Yahoo Sports that they've seen Fabia berate employees, and so they contacted Hunter Campbell, the UFC's chief business officer. So it looks like there's just this big thing going on with the coach in the UFC about medical records and stuff like that. And what it makes it sound like is is that some people have already complained to UFC, but like, hey, that coach is kind of messed up. He treats us bad or something like that. Is that what I understand here, Phil?
Yeah. So the background on this is kind of a background is this was supposed to be Diego Sanchez's last fight on his contract anyway. So win, lose, draw, he's going to be released. And they paid him his show and his win bonus. So he did get paid for the fight anyway. So that's why they didn't release him. But with the coach, there has been problems with the coach in the UFC. Like he always shows up as if he was kind of like drunk, or he acts weird, like having like a knife on him, trying to like scare people. And he always last minute say like, oh, we need this, we need that, or he doesn't show as if he really cares for his fighters like Sanchez. So even though I don't really agree with Dana White, a lot of times he kind of over exaggerates stuff. From what I read, the coach really seems like he is kind of a scumbag and he's not really taking his fighter seriously, especially with like Sanchez, who shows as if he does have some prior brain issues. And if you've seen his, let's say, last fight, I don't remember who he fought, but he tried to pull off maybe. Okay. But he tried to pull off Masvidal knee that he did to Ben Askren, but it looks so sloppy and he looks so ugly. And he does seem like he was out of shape in that fight. Right. So obviously people are like, what is going on here? So
yeah,
I kind of don't blame Dana White for having some sort of beef with his coach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
By the way, his last fight was Jake Matthews, UFC 253 on last September in Abu Dhabi. Okay, yeah. So the UFC just like, all right, we'll just get rid of this problem and move on. And Sanchez seemed a little bit like he seemed okay. That's good. He says free at last. He posted free at last, and tagged several MMA promotions. So, well, we'll see what's gonna happen with him. But so I guess Cerrone still wanted to fight, and I guess last minute, Alex Morono came in and said, I'll fight you. So,
and I think with this case, I would rather put money on Cerrone because even though he has had a rough go in his last few fights and having a lot of losses on him, at least he does seem like he is holding up better in his career and looking healthy enough to fight rather than Sanchez.
Okay.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, Morono, his last time out, he lost decision to Anthony Pettis back in December in the fight night, Thompson versus Neal. Okay, but let's continue moving on. So it seems like, like I said, it seems like an all-around decent fight card. And but right after that, it's all leading up to UFC 262, Oliveira versus Chandler, which we didn't put it up here, but it is note that on that UFC 262, one of the bigger fights in that card got scrapped also. The co-main event between Nate Diaz and Leon Edwards. I believe there was an injury also there from, I believe it was Nate Diaz's injury. So that sucks, but it's been pushed to UFC 263, and that's going to be Adesanya against Marvin Vettori. So, man, that's gonna be a big card. Then you got Israel Adesanya, Vettori, then you got Devason Figueiredo against Moreno, and then you're gonna have Nate Diaz and Leon Edwards. Oh, that's gonna be that card's gonna be stacked for sure.
I mean, let's hope everything goes well and everybody stays healthy. If everybody does stay healthy, that'll be an exciting fight. That'll be fun.
Yeah. But let's get some feel good story time, let's get some feel good over here. The baddest man in the world is also the happiest man in the world right now. And Francis Ngannou went back to his home in Cameroon, and he was celebrating. He was celebrating like, he's the, bigger than a president over there. People love him over there. And what a story for him to come over there and become a big hero here and win the championship and be considered probably one of the best KO artists in the UFC. So that's good for him, especially after defeating Stipe Miocic last March in UFC 260. He says, "This moment is something I've been waiting for." And he got a post on Twitter. And it's hard to put his feelings into words. The belt is back home where it belongs. The 34-year-old knockout artist was born and raised in the village of Bati, where he worked in a sand quarry when he was 10 years old. He later got into combat sports, realized he had a legit talent, and moved to France at the age of 26 to focus on training full time. So that's nice. That's nice of him and everything. But of course, there's a guy over there who has been doing a lot of this talking on the Twitter fingers or Instagram fingers or whatever you want to call it, and that's former light heavyweight champion, and who a lot of people want to put in their GOAT talk is John Bones Jones. I'm not sure if this was before all that. I'm sure it was a little bit after that, but Jones was well. First of all, I don't know. Jones said something, and then Ngannou was all like, you're a decision fighter, John Jones, and you barely won a fight lately. Are you going to break me out? And he does his little emoji fight, laugh, cry, and all that. And of course, Jones was like, he's not gonna take that. Like you already know, he's like, oh, what's he gonna say here? What's he gonna say here?
For real.
And then he's all like, a decision fighter. I carried the record for most submissions in light heavyweight division for many years, my friend. And you are what we call a one-trick pony, Francis Ngannou. Every champion I've ever faced punched hard. I see right through you. And I mean, it looks like Ngannou didn't say anything after that. He was just like, all right, whatever. And then, but Jones, I don't know if that infuriated more. Jones like, hey, wait, I'm still talking to you. I would rather be a decision fighter than a last of 2 rounds fighter. And then after all that, I guess he says, honestly, Francis Ngannou, I would. This is, by the way, Ngannou hasn't said anything after that. This is still Jones talking. Honestly, Francis Ngannou, I really respect you and your story. I really don't feel the need to have to crush you in a verbal battle to do what I've done to everyone since 2011. It concluded.
Oh, man. So Ngannou was trying to be the bigger man and to say, I'm gonna let my fight do the talking, but John Jones is just like, yep. It's the same old, like
Yeah.
I'm the best. You come, nobody can stop me. You this, you that. And, okay.
Yeah. And he hasn't got a heavyweight fight yet. So I mean,
here's my thing with Jones. Yeah, I agree. He is the best fighter ever that we've ever seen in the UFC. He has one of the longest streaks ever. I do agree with that. But here's my thing. And I also defend him. I do agree that he should get paid for his time in the heavyweight division. But if he really thinks that he is the man, why didn't he accept the $10 million that he was offered to fight Ngannou? Yeah, he still should get paid more. Everybody in the UFC should get paid more because they get paid chump change against boxers. They should get compensated. But if he is the big bad man he keeps talking about, and he keeps saying that he is not scared, prove it. I'm pretty sure UFC has offered him more than the $10 million that he wanted more. So why doesn't he stop acting scared like he is acting and really just take the fight? Because if it was anybody else, $10 million would be fine.
Yeah.
So shut up, don't talk, and just be a man to fight. He's been waiting long enough. Agree to fight.
Yeah. And I think that's one thing we talk about, when we talk about UFC fighters, and there's those guys that, would just, go out there, do their thing, and all right, that's it. Then there's those fighters that like to talk, you're talking about the Jones, the McGregors, the Chimaev, I believe, the upcoming prospect, who want to do a lot of the talking. That's a lot. For one, that's the way to sell your fights, which is fine, like you want to do that. You want to sell your fights, and a lot of people like, backstage drama or Twitter drama or whatever. But it's nothing too. Like if you really want this fight, I think Khabib was one of them. I don't think Khabib throughout the time was. I mean, he did his trash talking and everything, but he was more like, I'm not gonna let money, take who I want to fight most of the time. If I want to, because right now Khabib could take the money, just continue money. Like I'm so good, like Manny Nunes, she could do the same thing. Like I'm not gonna be all talking shit all the time. I could take my fights. I know that there's nobody that can beat me right now. If the UFC wants to pay me every time I come out here, knock someone out and then go home, get my check, and that's it. But I feel like and like Khabib was the same way. He was just like, okay, nobody can beat me right now. I'll fight whoever's the top contenders because I want to fight them, and that's it. I'll take my check and then go home. But it seems that Jones was like, okay, well, the same thing with McGregor. I want to take my money and I want to beat this guy. But most important for them is the money, it seems.
We don't know that UFC is kind of stingy with the money, except for a handful. So why is he acting different?
Right.
If he's the best, like the people you name, like the Nunes, like the Khabib, he will be taking the fight. Because at least for me, if I know I'm gonna get paid good, if I was offered at least 5 million for one fight, I'll be like, okay, cool. I know I'm the best.
Yeah.
Let me move up and just submit my legacy.
Yeah.
Unless John Jones has something to hide, maybe he's having money trouble or something.
Yeah.
Then okay. But yeah. And again, I'm still gonna say this: UFC fighters deserve to be paid more. He knows his worth.
Yeah.
But 10 million should be enough. That should be good enough to be like, okay, I'll try to negotiate after this fight. If I beat Francis, that's a big if. Then I'll negotiate my contract because I'll be a champion again. Champions usually get more in the back end. So yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Especially since his last couple fights, like I think Ngannou was talking about, like he's 31 them. I mean, he's won them, you know, but he got decision compared to like Ngannou, who's just like knocked out. But I guess you know, like Heath Johnson mentioned himself, like, well, I have a history of submitting. I have a whole bunch of submissions too. So what are you talking about? But it's always about what have you done for me lately. So you know, when we talk about, you know, like, okay, you got your decisions, but I've got a knockout. So I mean, it's still one of the fights that everybody wants to watch, you know. And I think, unfortunately for Derek Lewis, who's next, I think people want to see, would rather see, you know, Ngannou and John Jones. You know, even because its unique thing is that even casuals want to watch that for sure. You know, casual fans want to watch it, and that's something that a lot of promotions like to do. You know, is go into those casuals and try to get those to watch, you know, because I could already get the people that are already UFC fans, but it's about getting the casuals to come over here. And, you know, that's why we want to put in McGregor. Not that McGregor's not talented, but, you know, that's why we want to have him continue having all these fights and have him say who he wants to fight. Because, you know, either way, he's a big name and people and casual fans would love to see McGregor either get beat up or beat someone up. For the most part, get beat up from what I've talked to. But Derek Lewis is next in line, I believe. Is it let me look, is it official? I believe is it 263? Okay, yeah, it's gonna be UFC 263 in June. So but oh no, it was supposed to be 263 in June, and I guess when Ngannou needed more time off, that's where we're gonna have Adesanya and Vittori. The Lewis accepting the Ngannou match of the Black Beast believes that the John Jones is now officially out of the running and being the next man to fight the heavyweight belt. Jones out of the picture, Lewis said. So it looks like it's gonna happen. Probably, I don't think the official time or date is happening, but it looks like Jones, you're playing too much. So we're gonna. Lewis is ready. He looked good his last time out, and he's gonna be next in line.
And imagine if Derek Lewis does somehow sneak in a good knockout punch and wins the fight. Then I'm pretty sure John Jones would be stupid or feel stupid because he lost that possible $10 million fight. Because I'm always going to want to watch him versus Lewis. No disrespect to Lewis because he's one of my favorite heavyweight fighters. I'm pretty sure the luster of, let's see this big fight against Jones and another big fighter like Ngannou. But yeah, I'll just laugh. Hopefully not all laugh if Ngannou loses against him.
But everybody seems to be forgetting about the former champion too, Stipe. I mean, where does he fit in all this? I mean, he's a former champion and he lost the rematch. So there's still like that, you know, UFC loves these trilogies. So there's that in line, you know, and so it's gonna be Lewis next, and then let's just say Ngannou does what he's supposed to do and he beats Lewis. And then you still have, okay, well, does Jones feel like, okay, now I could fight him, or is it going to be Stipe? Is Stipe going to fight somebody else before he probably gets another, which it seems like that's where the UFC is going. Or I don't even think the UFC knows what they're going to do with Stipe, but let's remind everybody, he's still the former champion, you know? He's still top of the division.
Like, after the rematch with Stipe and Francis, I know that he want to take a break. So I'm not sure if he's ready to come back or if he's going to come back. But if he does come back, I'd rather him get the rematch than Jones, because Jones is just acting up now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, to move on now to another champion, Kamaru Usman wants to defend his welterweight title against Michael Chiesa at UFC 263. After beating, I mean, Usman looks like he's just won. Like, okay, I just won my last fight. Let's go. Next one. Next one. Next one. Next one. There's a lot of fighters, a lot of champions that just like, call me for whenever you got somebody. But Usman's like, no, come on, let's go. Let's do this. Let's do this again. And where everybody thought it was gonna be Colby Covington, which I believe it is Colby Covington next in line. But Usman is like, I want to fight. Chiesa. Let's give him a shot in all this. I mean, Covington already did lose to Usman, but he's at number 1 ranked right now, and he did beat Tyron Woodley, I believe, his last time out. But who didn't beat Tyron Woodley at this point? I mean, if it's gonna be about like, okay, the names, then it should be Usman and Covington for sure. Well, still a lot more than Usman and Chiesa. But Chiesa he's a veteran, so there's got to be another reason why, a good reason why Usman was like, I want to give it to Chiesa next.
I kind of feel like with Covington, I do also agree that he should be next in line, because he did be a top contender his last time around, and he won pretty convincingly. But I kind of feel like it's mainly because of his mouth. He is where he is. So why not actually give it to somebody else to see if they will do good against Usman, and then maybe after that give it to Covington, because Covington did lose pretty. Other than the last round, he didn't even lose that bad against Usman. So I feel like it would be a good fight again if they did fight. But yeah, just give it to somebody else before he gets rematch.
Okay. All right. And finally, the last champion we're going to talk about, everybody was hoping for Adesanya and Whitaker, especially after Whitaker's last fight, defeating Gastelum. And again, he looked great in that fight. The whole 5 rounds, I mean, he just dominated the whole thing. And but apparently Whitaker is the one who declined the fight. So did he? Is that true?
Yeah, so he declined it because he said that, according to a podcast I listened to, the Below the Belt podcast, he felt like he didn't have enough time to like rest between his last fight and then go back to training. So he was just like, okay, let me at least get a chance to like take a breather. And then I guess Adesanya's coach or his manager was like, oh no, just let's get to the next person. If they're gonna want to wait, then too bad. Let's keep this going. Which I kind of get it. Which I kind of get it, so he won't get
Makes
rusty.
Sense.
But yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll
This
see.
sucks for him.
Again, and that next person is Marvin Vettori, who has a whole bunch of momentum going on with him, and a lot of people believe that middleweight championship is going to Italy. So we'll see what that. It's going to be again UFC 262, I believe, or 262, I believe. And so we'll see about that. And with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoy another fight night, and we'll be right back with some baseball. We had a full month of Major League Baseball action, and it's been quite an interesting first month. Some surprises, something that we didn't expect. I didn't expect from the beginning, but still very early on in the season, and things could have changed. But let's talk about some players of the month. For the month of April, in the National League, we have a Braves superstar Ronald Acuna. In the American League, we got a Twins outfielder Byron Buxton. Our players of the month. Acuna hit .341 with 8 home runs, 3 stolen bases, 18 RBIs, and 25 runs scored in 24 games of the first month of the season. He scored 20 runs in the Braves' first 15 games, the most in franchise history and most by anyone through 15 games since Alex Rodriguez had 20 runs scored for the Yankees in 2007, where he went to win AL MVP. So that's congratulations to him for the Braves. And Buxton over there in Minnesota is hitting .426, 8 home runs, 3 steals, 14 RBIs, and 15 runs scored in 18 games in April. 27-year-old set Twins franchise record for March and April in batting average, slugging percentage, and OPS.
Wow.
So, these guys are right away on fire. And Red Sox outfielder Jason Witten, Cubs third baseman Chris Bryant also received votes for NL Player of the Month. Angels two-way star Shohei Ohtani and outfielder Mike Trout Red Sox designated hitter JD Martinez and White Sox DH Yermin Mercedes, the AL Rookie of the Month, also received votes for Player of the Month. So, man, some teams are headed out real hot, and big mention too for Dodgers third baseman Justin Turner, who he's been red hot too, and now a lot of people expect a whole bunch of home runs from him right away. But some injuries right now. We have White Sox young superstar Luis Robert will not be able to resume baseball activities for 12 to 16 weeks after suffering a grade 3 strain of his right hip flexor, representing a complete tear during the first inning of Sunday's 5-0 loss to the Indians. The diagnosis came after the Gold Glove outfielder was examined by Nick Verma, the White Sox lead physician at Rush Medical Center in Chicago Monday. Further consultation with specialists in the field will be needed to determine the next step for Robert. This is a big blow for the White Sox. They have high World Series thoughts on their mind right now. This year, they have a pretty talented team, but they're going to be out with their young star for quite a while. And another team that's going to be out without their one of their big young stars is, of course, the Dodgers. Dustin May is going to undergo probably the worst surgery, or the biggest surgery, relevant surgery that most pitchers go through in their Major League Baseball season careers. I mean, he will undergo Tommy John surgery and will end his 2021 season. So that's a big blow for the Dodgers. He's a hard-throwing young kid. The one thing again, it's usually this is a surgery that mostly happens to a lot of pitchers in Major League Baseball, and once you come back, it's hard to maintain what you used to have. But the good thing again, May is a very young player still, and he has a lot of his career to go through. But he's going to be out for the rest of the year, and hopefully the Dodgers can carry on without him. The thing also about the Dodgers, I mean, again, not to speak as a Dodger fan, but the thing with their rotation is just so good that it's like, okay, it sucks that he's gone, but there's also 4 very quality pitchers that we have, although they haven't showed it this last week, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Okay.
But this is a big blow, like I said, and hopefully he can come back the way he had it. I mean, this kid could throw 100 miles per hour fastball. For a starter, that's really rare. So hopefully he gets his stuff back when he comes back.
Yeah.
And MLB pitcher suspended for 7 games for inciting bench clearing incident. Reds reliever Amir Garrett isn't afraid to wear his emotions. He had an animated response when he struck out Chicago Cubs first baseman Anthony Rizzo this past weekend and is now paying the unfortunate price for it. After getting Rizzo to miss on a breaking ball for strike 3 during Reds Cubs on Saturday, Garrett came out the mound, pounded his chest, and had a few choice words for the Chicago first baseman. Garrett then turned to the Cubs dugout and continued jawing. I mean, what? All right, you got him. You struck him out already. The Cubs didn't like what they saw and heard the Reds reliever. It didn't take too long until both teams were on the field. Several engaged in heated conversations, but it didn't escalate beyond that. Regardless, Major League Baseball is dropping the hammer on Garrett for his actions. They suspended him for 7 games, and then some people reactions on Twitter says, news from the Reds, Amir Garrett has been suspended 7 games and fined for the incident for, quote, inciting a bench clearing incident Saturday against the Cubs. Man, they're tougher on these Reds than they were on the Astros a few years ago.
Conspiracy.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I don't know. I think that, again, we should be able to see more emotion over there. Are these baseball players in baseball? Yeah, you don't want to have any fights, any brawls or anything, but these guys didn't have a brawl. They just started shouting at each other, and that was about it. So
wow.
Calm down, guys.
Try to make it more family friendly. Like, no, it's like, yeah, you suck. Well, you okay? A 10-game suspension, don't come back.
Yeah. Well, but you could cheat a game, so you could cheat in the World Series. Don't worry about that.
Exactly.
Man, I'm speaking like a true Dodger fan. I'm still butthurt about that.
Yeah, there are millions of dollars that were spent for them to turn the other cheek. Yeah. Which, by the way, I think today it was the Astros' first time in Yankee Stadium since 2019. They were greeted with a whole bunch of boos right when they were naming the lineup. So that was a nice video to watch. Let's take a look at some standings right now over the National League. The Central, Milwaukee and St. Louis are tied 17 and 12. Pittsburgh is all the way at the bottom at 4.5.
over there in the East, the Washington Nationals are leading. It is probably one of the worst divisions. It looks like at least right now in the game in the baseball. They're 12-12, with the Phillies are 14-5. Atlanta's all the way down in 12-16, which is a surprise. The Mets are 11-12. So it looks like almost there's nobody with a winning record in this division right now.
Yeah,
This looks like the NFC East in football.
pretty much.
And over the National League West, a big surprise here, which I don't like to see, which I still don't feel like it's gonna last. But let's give it to them for now because that's all probably they're gonna have. The Giants are leading that division by 1.5
Well,
games against the Dodgers and the Padres. The Dodgers did have a very bad week last week. They went 3-7 in the last 10 games. But you know, every team goes through a struggle in this long season. So hopefully, it's just we get through it on the beginning of the year compared to later on the year when we have to win. But the surprise is also there for the Padres. I mean, they're also just, they're also tied with the Dodgers, and they are 7-3 in their last 10 though. So over there in the American League, we have Kansas City leading that division by a game against the White Sox. In the East, we have the Boston Red Sox, another surprise. They're leading their division by 2 games. The Yankees are finally climbing up a little bit. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. They have a 14-14 record. And the A's are leading their division by 2 games against the Astros. And Angels are falling back down. So is Texas. And some games are going on right now. The Dodgers did lose the opening of a doubleheader to the Cubs. The Dodgers are also playing. I believe they're also they're tied. They're 0-0 last time I checked right now. Oh, they're losing 1-0 now. The Giants are leading 2-0. They won big, I believe, in the opening game. Arizona's tied. Boston's on top with 9-3. So that's it for now in baseball. We'll be right back with some more basketball news. So Marvel made its way into the NBA, of course, or at least ESPN's way of their NBA, with the game between the Golden State Warriors and the New Orleans Pelicans, and decided to crown Draymond Green as Marvel's first champion. Hodge, I believe you watched a lot of this game.
Yeah.
What's your take on this game?
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad that they added the Marvel aspect to this game because this game was not competitive. If it was like a regular game, I probably wouldn't watch it because it's not fun seeing one team beat another team down unless it's your favorite team or you hate the other team. And this game was pretty much similar to what the NFL did with Nickelodeon. Added a lot of characters. They had like 6 Marvel characters represent one of the players, and they pretty much got one superhero point for any point that they score, be it points scored, rebounds, assists, steals, and they would lose a point for every shot that they missed. So Lonzo Ball, he was represented by Iron Man. He was in the negatives for like a good portion of the game up until like close to mid of the second half, and so it was fun. It was funny seeing Draymond Green end up being the new Avenger. Because he beat Stephen Curry by 1 point as far as the superhero points are concerned.
He did.
But yeah, it was very interactive. It was really, it gave it a new dynamic. And they say they won't stop doing this. I hope they don't stop. I like when they add like superheroes or like something cartoonish to some games. So I want to see more of this. It was fun to watch. It made the game more exciting because the Pelicans were getting beat down.
Yeah.
Does this count as an actual win?
Yeah, it does.
What the heck?
Yep, it's a regular season game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if baseball's going to do something like that too. Then
they should. I think they should. I forgot who Draymond Green represented. Oh, he was Doctor Strange. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, and Stephen Curry was represented by Captain Marvel. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
I know. She apparently she had a good eye, but Doctor Strange, he could travel, so he foresaw Draymond Green picking up the rack, so he ended up winning. I'm trying to remember everybody else. I know Andrew Wiggins represented Black Panther. Oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank right now with Zion and Ingram. Was okay? Yeah, I don't want to prolong this show by thinking about it too long. So
Yeah.
yeah, everybody represented a superhero. So I thought this was fun. I thought the commentary was fun. Everything about it was fun except the actual game, which yeah. So it I would hate to guard Stephen Curry. Like he's probably the most aggravating player to guard.
Right. Yeah, I mean he's on a roll. Has been on a roll the last couple of months, right?
Yeah,
Just
he
coming back
has.
from that little from that little injury
Yeah,
and all. Wow. Okay.
yeah.
Well, talking about coming back from an injury, though, this is a guy who didn't come back too good from an injury, from certain fans, an alleged injury. But he came back and apparently, he didn't have a good game, and I guess he's hurt again. Or he's gonna be out for 2 more games. I guess they really want to be careful with him. Of course, we're talking about LeBron James. We didn't mention the name yet. Talking about LeBron James. For those of you who don't know who I'll be talking about at this point, so he's going to be out for at least 2 games, and he's experienced some discomfort. And I believe Anthony Davis is back now, and they've been playing. I think they played 2 games together, which they lost for both games.
Yeah.
Which I thought it was interesting because Laker fans were really on us about like, oh, well, watch out when they're all together, when they're all good. Oh, nobody wants to mess with them. Even the Nets are scared of us. But
yeah, I think I saw a quote that said LeBron said he probably won't be 100% in the round or again or something like that.
Yeah. So that is, I mean, who knows how we could take that? Like how people are gonna take that. That's still a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
Is you're not comforting your fans, you're not comforting your Laker fans, and I would think even for your teammates.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why maybe they're really being careful with him. And again, he's not used to this. I mean, he's the one thing that we could credit LeBron doing so well about it. He's been pretty healthy for probably the most part of his career, other than the last 2 years ago when his first year with the Lakers.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing we could give LeBron is that he's been fairly healthy throughout his career. So he's not used to this, and he's, I guess, really, or at least the Lakers are trying to be careful with him, and which we'll see how that's gonna go later on. I mean, I think they have some crucial games upcoming. They have the Clippers, they have the Blazers, and they have the Suns. So that's big games that they probably need to win. I think they were briefly at on seventh place in the West, but they moved up a bit from a win yesterday, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a bit. So, but the Lakers it looks like they're relying on having these 3 men back, or at least healthy. David, AD, Drummond, and LeBron. Even though they have other players, they have Shooter, and they have apparently some people believe in Kuzma, and so they should be able to have a whole team. I remember before, Lakers were talking about that they were one of the deepest teams as far as that, and so I would have thought they would be doing a little bit better, regardless. So we'll see what's going on with them.
Yeah.
But another guy who's injured, and he said, like, you know what, I'll play through it. Let's do this. Is Kawhi from the Clippers said there is nothing significant with his foot injury, and that he has been playing with it for some time. In his first game back after missing the previous 5 games due to right-footed soreness, Leonard had 16 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds in 30 minutes in the loss to the Denver Nuggets at Staples Center. He says, "I'm feeling good," said in the first comments in April 9th. "We took the proper steps to get me right, to make sure nothing significant is wrong with me. So hopefully we can just moving up from here." And again, the Clippers need this because they're probably one of the most inconsistent, even though they're more on top of they're probably like 6 games above the Lakers, and I think whoever's behind them, they're quite a few games above, but like they're probably one of the most inconsistent teams I've seen. They have some pretty good wins, and then they go on to lose some. Like what? Like how do you lose that one?
Yeah.
And so they got to figure it out, and they need Paul George to step it up too, which he has. But I think they've also had Beverly off. They had Ibaka out. So still no excuses. You still have you've had Paul George and you have Kawhi, and I believe you still have Rondo up in there too.
Yeah. Yep.
So we'll see. I mean, we're gonna see a big game. I mean, Clippers and Lakers, I believe, this week or this weekend, something like that. So we'll see. That's going to be a good game that we need to pay attention to, because as of right now, again, we'll talk about. I did take a sneak peek at the standings. That's a big playoff preview right there. Clippers and Lakers, which is going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And what's exciting and what we want to see more, we would hope to see is Carmelo. Make a playoff run and go far in it. But as of now, he passes Elvin Hayes for the 10th on all-time scoring list. So this is another guy who's having a Hall of Fame career for sure.
Yeah.
And it's going to the right direction. And of course, it's going to be stuck with that whole, in sports, the main thing that everybody wants you to have is a ring. That's the only thing that's going to haunt him. But so far, okay, we'll talk more where Portland's at in the conference. But so far, this is a good thing for he's still like almost right behind Shaq and Wilt Chamberlain and Nowitzki. Then there's Jordan, then there's Kobe, then there's LeBron, Malone, and Kareem Abdul.
Yep.
So I mean, he's up there with legends already. So
yeah, if you could crack top 10 all-time scoring, I'd say you're in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, definitely, right?
Yeah,
that's an easy way to put it.
Yeah, he's already in our sports next Hall. Well, I mean, it's not time yet, but like he already has my vote.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I believe he's
unofficially,
officially up there.
Yeah. When the time comes, he'll be voted.
Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, he still has a couple more years. He's 37 at the moment, but hopefully, he still has more years.
Yeah.
To do if he can.
Yeah.
But he's gonna let us more into his life. I guess later on this year, as he's publishing a memoir. About his life, the book is called Where Tomorrow's Errand Promised, and it's co-written by D. Watkins. It says, I'm a black kid from the bottom. The 37-year-old Anthony writes in the excerpt from the book shared Wednesday by Gallery. I had to fight through some of the roughest housing projects in America. How did I, a kid who had so many hopes, dreams, and expectations beat out of him, make it here at all? And so that's going to be a big thing to read. I mean, especially for now, we need to read things like this, again, things about like you could do more and all that. So we like to see Carmelo's still one of the most respected guys in the NBA.
Yeah.
I think universally in the NBA, you could be in any fan anywhere, you probably one of the most respected players in the league.
Yeah. Definitely.
And another guy who's one of the most respected guys. Well, I guess it could be.
His game is.
Okay.
Respect the
it
game.
Could be at the. Yeah. Okay. There you go. But like this particular accomplishment is pretty respectable. Russell Westbrook joins Wilt Chamberlain and himself with 20 rebound, 20 assist night. Westbrook's statistical achievements are putting him in smaller and smaller company. More recently on this, where only he and the other legend have been. The trend continued on Monday when Westbrook registered an eye-popping 21 rebounds and 24 assists in Washington's 141 victory against Indiana. The only two players in NBA history to collect over 20 rebounds and 20 assists in the same game before. You guys guessed it, Wilt Chamberlain and Russell Westbrook.
He's so again active.
Usually when you get your names right next to a legend, you're also up in the Hall of Fame level,
I mean, twice.
Yeah. So that's a big achievement for him. Congratulations to him.
Yep.
And we'll see what's later on. I mean, I don't think his team is doing anything this year still, but still quite an achievement for him.
Yeah, if translate to wins, that'll be more beautiful.
I like how Phil right away is like, no. Don't go there. What's that about, Phil?
Just his personality isn't the greatest. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but he's an asshole.
Yeah.
He's an asshole.
Okay. No, we didn't. No time to sugarcoat it. Just say it. Well, how about this guy? Jason Tatum ties Celtics scoring record. Leads comeback from 32 points down. That is, especially a very rich franchise, as far as history.
Yeah.
That is quite an accomplishment. Tatum has scored as many points on the Spurs as the rest of his teammates combined with 24. The Celtics trailed by 29. San Antonio's lead won 32 in the second quarter, stretch again out to 31. Then it snapped closer and closer still. By the final moments of regulation, Tatum was sitting on 50, firing off a clean follow-away with the win on the line. All it took was overtime, and by then, Tatum had bolstered his total with another 10 points to cap an outstanding comeback and second largest overall in the last 20 years, according to Live Sports Bureau. Tatum's 60 points tied Larry Bird for the Celtics' all-time single game scoring mark, also making him the second youngest player to score 60 behind Devin Booker, and the first Celtics player with multiple 50-point games in the same season. Man.
Yeah, you know,
Again,
every time I see Jason Tatum, I just laugh because the Lakers had a clear shot at drafting him, and they were with Lonzo Ball.
oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
I think about that all the time. I mean, it doesn't matter now. They won a championship last season, but
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they won. They
Still,
won the
you know.
champ, but not through Lonzo. Lonzo was at the time they thought that was going to be their franchise guy and everything. Boy, they were wrong.
Yep. Yeah,
Um,
Tatum's making history, and Lonzo might get traded again next season. Who knows?
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's got a little bit better,
Yeah.
but compared to when he started. with the
Yeah,
Lakers,
definitely, definitely.
but nothing compared to what Tatum's doing right now.
Nah,
Whenever you have your name right next to Larry Bird too, and like I said, and you have your name right next to a legend,
yeah,
you're doing something good.
yeah,
Speaking of legends, right now we talking about coaches now. With Greg Popovich, of course, one of the everybody could say he's probably the best coach, especially of our time right now.
yeah.
Another guy who joined them in a certain way is Eric Spoelstra. He tied, I think, 600 wins, which is the most wins by a team with a coach with the same team.
Yep.
So which is pretty low key kind of a good thing, other than okay, you got your 600 wins, but like I remember when he started coaching, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, of course he's gonna do well. He's coaching LeBron, he's coaching Wade, and he's watch when they leave or something happens." But apparently he was able to stay there, stay true. I mean, he made the finals last year, and he's, I mean, like we said, 600 wins. In spite of, I mean, LeBron has been out of the Heat how many years already? Like, it's been a while.
Yeah,
And for him to continue, coaching and picking up wins, that's pretty impressive for Spoelstra.
yeah. Like a lot of people forget, like he's still there. Like
Yeah.
I think they got a reminder last year when the Heat made the playoffs. But like he's been consistent, even when the Heat fans decided to quit showing up to the games. He's still been there producing with that team. So that's
Yeah.
a heck of an accomplishment. Like
And-
these coaches' careers. All depends on how long they want to stay and how much they could produce. And the
Mhm.
writings on the wall right there with both of them. I mean, nobody can
Yeah.
talk about Greg Popovich because
Well, these two have been linked together for quite a while. Remember, they played those two finals with the
Yeah.
Heat and Spurs, each winning one, I believe.
yeah,
So that's and I believe they were playing recently against each other.
yeah,
So they have been for a while, linked together. So it's good for those two coaches right there. Like for Coach, I don't think is that the what is another team? Do we know another coach that's won more games for one franchise?
I don't have it on me right now, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't think
We
so.
could probably look that up. Yeah. Okay. But congratulations to those two. And so the NBA is thinking about doing this thing called a tournament, playoff tournament kind of thing. Sure, it's a little bit complicated, but from what I understand, a little bit of what I understand is we're talking about a 7 and 8 seeds playing together, or is it the 8th and 9th seed playing a game together in order to make the playoffs? I don't know, Hodge, if you know a little bit more about this.
Yeah, pretty much. The bottom, pretty much the bottom of teams are going to play each other. It's the 7th and 8th